Jordan, when you first got drafted by the Cardinals, what were the emotions like?
High, really high, man. Man, my family was going crazy. They were all super excited, and I was probably definitely the most excited of all of them. You know, the Cardinals are a great organization, and I was just glad to go in the draft, and let alone be drafted to a great organization like this. So, you know, I was really excited. That's all I can say about that, for sure.
What did you know about the Cardinals growing up?
I knew that they were good, and I remember I grew up as a Braves fan. I remember that one postseason. I was actually on a flight, and I was young. I was like sophomore in high school, I believe. I remember it was the Braves postseason. It was a deciding game. I got off the plane. It was 10-0. I was like, oh man. I was like, we had to play the Cardinals. So, you know, I knew that they were a successful organization, great history, and you know, it was just a joy to be drafted by them. Absolutely.
There's a lot of expectations surrounding you. How do you manage them to just be 19 years old?
You know, I try not to think about it. You know, I just do what I can control, pretty much. And I feel like, you know, I know it's said a lot, but I really take it to heart, because if I focus on what I feel like I need to focus on, things will work out. If I do what I need to do, things will work out. So listening to all these explanations from other people, maybe that'll just get myself in my head, and that's when I do my worst. So if I'm calm, relaxed, and focusing on, you know, my swing, my game personally, then, you know, I feel like things will work out.
How is it being at camp, surrounding yourself with guys like Nolan Arenado, Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, all those type of guys?
It's great. I mean, I'm learning a lot just from watching them. Even if I don't have to talk to them, just the way they go about their actions, you know. They joke around with their teammates, obviously, but once they get in the cage or on the field, it's like a switch. Like, they switch it up, and they're locked in, ready to play the game, ready to get their work in. So it's really cool to see how they go about it and to see what it takes to get myself to the big leagues.
I know you're motivated to get to the big leagues, but how do you just keep yourself calm and staying within the moment and not looking ahead to the future?
See, that's part of it. If I get too big, then I'll start, you know, swing out my shoes, for example, or trying to make the great play. When I just stick to the mechanics, then that's how I'll get successful. And I feel like if I tell myself to stick to the mechanics, stick to who I am, stick to what I know I can do, and play the game how it's supposed to be played, I'm going to find myself in the big leagues. So that's, I feel like, my way to do it. And that's what I've gotten from watching people like Arenado, people like Goldschmidt. They don't make things too big. They don't get too big. They know what they can do, and they do it really well. And by doing that, they become successful. So I feel like if I follow that route, I can also become successful as well.
Absolutely. Sum up your year last year. How was it, just from the moment you put on a Redbirds jersey to the final out that you had? What did you gain from last year?
I thought it was a lot of fun. First of all, that's the first thing I would say. It was a lot of fun, man. I really did enjoy that season. It was good to have a full professional season. And I also learned that mentality that I just talked about is to keep within myself. I would find myself getting a little big sometimes, you know, trying to win the game in one swing, as they say. And that's when I started to fail, and I started to get in my head, like, what's going on? So I just learned my approach and how I want to play the game. That was a big season for that. And this season, I just want to continue that approach.
Where do you want to end up by the end of this season?
I honestly don't know. I don't know how things work out on that standpoint, and I really haven't put too much thought into that. But I do know I'm going to have goals that I'm going to set for myself, personal goals, maybe stats-wise, things like that like I want to meet. And if I meet those goals, I feel like other things should play out in the organization in the long run. So.
I talked to Matthew Liberatore earlier today. Sure. Obviously, you guys are the young nucleus of this Cardinals team. You guys are the future, you, Nolan, Juan.
Right.
How does it feel having such a group of talented young players all starting out together?
It's fun. I like it. It's really a learning experience, too, because there are guys like me came out of high school. So, and they're just a little bit older than me, which means they have a little bit more experience than me. So not only just learning from the big leaguers, but learning from them and how they handle the pressure or what their mindset is that like can help me at this time in my life right now. Just looking at Gorman, looking at Liberatore, how they carry themselves is pretty important to me. So just feeding off of each other, I feel like is pretty good.
How hard was that transition from high school ball to Major League Baseball?
Ooh, it was difficult. I went from seeing 80 every day to seeing 90 on the black and things like that. So it was definitely different. But this is a game of adjustments. So I had to make that adjustment, and I feel like, you know, the more adjustments I keep making, the more success I'll have. So.
What do you hope to take away from just your career as a Cardinal? Hopefully it's a long, extended career, but what do you hope the lasting impact that you hope to leave? What is that?
My lasting, well, I've never been asked that question before. I want to be known as a solid baseball player, a player who represents the game of baseball. I want it to be, fun, but also showing that you're devoted to it, showing that it's not just fun. You have to really work at it if you want to get to the big leagues. Because a lot of people out there think, you're drafted down, you're just going to be immediately in the big leagues. Like sometimes, like in the NFL, sometimes you just go straight to the NFL. That's not how it works. There's a lot of people you have to compete against to get to where you're at. And so I want it to be fun, but I also want to show that devotion to the game, and you got to love the game to really have success in it.
And when I was watching you earlier on the backfield, it seemed like you loved the game. There was a stretch where the ball wasn't even coming your way, but you're practicing, you're mimicking it coming your way. Just how locked in are you when you step on these fields?
Definitely. That's something I like to do, and I've done more recently. Sometimes I've struggled. Defense comes probably hardest for me of any part in baseball.
Yeah.
So just doing that stuff just to keep my mind active. Sometimes I'm not involved in the play in a drill. At the time, I was trying to work on maybe a play, like a ghost play with my backhand or something like that. You might have seen it. Just trying to get used to the motions so I don't make the same mistakes as I did last year. It's just something to keep me active and something I can work on.
Now with Nolan here, he'll probably be here for a while, so I'm sure you're working at different positions in the infield. How's that going for you?
It's fine. In the offseason, I worked at a few different positions. Even took some fly balls from the outfield. It doesn't really mean anything right now. To be honest, I'm still working out a lot at third base. But I like being able to be versatile. If I could play anywhere, if they need me, a bat anywhere in the lineup, I want to be that person who can, play anywhere. So just working out those positions.
What was it like when you got drafted and they have a player like that? What did you tell yourself? Did you even think about, oh man, I got a lot of work to do in order to get on the field? Or what were the emotions like?
It wasn't. I didn't think about it at all. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool that he's going to play for him, but I already knew that there was work ahead of me, and it didn't really change anything. I knew I was going to have to work to get to the big leagues, and so, it's just, I didn't think too much about it, man. He's a good guy, and I like to talk to him and learn from him, so I thought it was a plus in my part. And then, I already knew there was work ahead of me, so, it didn't really change anything at all.
Couple final questions I have for you. The culture here, winning. World Series expectations. When you came in here, were you blown away with what they expect of you, or were you kind of like, this is really cool, they expect to win?
They expect to win, and I'm fully behind that. They expect to win, and they're trying to form me into a player that can, help them win a World Series, and I like that. And I'm really trying to work at, meeting their expectations and being that player that can help them win a World Series, and I'm full on board with their win mentality.
Okay, and final question that I have for you. What will the moment be like? I know you probably can't describe it right now, but the day you put on that Cardinals jersey with the birds on the bat, you walk out in Busch Stadium with 45,000 fans. What's that going to mean to you and your family, just about where you came from to where you are now?
It's going to mean everything. It's been a dream I've had since I was probably 3 years old, just watching baseball. My grandfather would love baseball. My dad loves baseball. I love baseball. For my family, that would be a pretty big thing for me to walk out there, all those fans, and then just playing the game that I love. So really big impact on me, for sure.
And one more follow-up question to that. I know I'm probably going to put pressure on you, but a lot of young black kids are probably going to be looking up to you. What does that mean to you in a game that doesn't have a lot of African-American players for you possibly to be the face one day?
It means a lot, honestly. I want to represent. I want this game to have a lot more black players, and I want to inspire black kids to come play the game. I want to show that it's fun, and you got to work hard at it and things like that. So I want to be that representation. So that's really also what I'm looking forward to and working for in this organization as well.